intelligence of a meeting between Danford and numbers 4 and 5 on our most wanted list. We believe that they're connected to the recent suicide bombing in Kenya. We have information that they will be in this house today.
Under what circumstances is it okay to kill a terrorist suspect on foreign soil? That's the constantly evolving question new film Eye in the Sky asks.
To witness a capture, not a kill. Give me a capture option.
We no longer have a capture option.
The film stars Helen Mirren as a tough colonel and the late Alan Rickman as her boss.
Even with the vests, we need their approval for a strike.
The use of drones in modern warfare has made many military decisions into ethical dilemmas, something Mirren was keen to emphasise in her performance.
My grandfather was a military man, and there is a certain element, I think, in the military that you have to be blinkered, because to become too concerned about the implications of what you're doing and the byproducts of what you're doing is just too disturbing and distressing. You have to say, we have to do this, that is what we're going to do, let's do it, sort of thing. And I think she has to have that quality.
This area here in the street.
Eye in the Sky starts out about a routine drone capture on wanted terror suspects in Kenya.
Well, this changes things.
But when a drone discovers they're planning a suicide attack
Weapon is armed. What's that?
and a girl sets up her stall outside their house,
I think we should abort.
things become much more complicated.
You are putting the whole mission at risk because of one collateral damage issue?
They kill 80 people. We win the propaganda war. If we kill one child, they do.
We've got 2 suicide bombers inside that house, and no one wants to take responsibility for pulling the trigger.
We lost visual.
Christ.
The decision is passed up and up the ladder.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, thank you. Obvious to anyone not trying to avoid making a decision.
All the way to the UK Prime Minister and US Secretary of State.
The vests are just a bonus.
Dampa's a British citizen. They want her alive.
They cannot have her alive. Frank, I've tracked her for 6 years. This is the closest I've ever got.
Meanwhile, the drone pilot played by Aaron Paul is left with his finger on the trigger.
There is a lot more at stake than you see in this image.
What Eye in the Sky, I hope, does as a film is that it reminds us that complicated issues require genuine dialogue, deep dive into the issues at stake, and not simplistic positional ideas, you know. And I hope that that's what the film does for an audience, is allow people who going into the film might have very clear ideas about what they would do in certain circumstances, and coming out of the film might be ready to talk to someone with a different point of view on both sides. And if we do that, then we're back to having a democracy in a way. Democracy is about conversation, not winner takes all.
Weapon is armed.
Blurring the lines between fiction and reality,
This raises profound questions about who is targeted and why,
Eye in the Sky is a new take on the traditional war movie.
and the risk of creating new enemies,
This could result in massive loss of life.
about accountability, the legality, and morality.
We have to accept the risk.
The choices we make now will define the world that we leave to our children.
It's so about the way war is changing and about the way warfare is being fought right now. And I just felt that it was a sort of film that if I was a member of the audience, I felt I would go and see, have a tremendous thrill ride, be on the edge of my seat, and then be left with a great deal to talk about with my friends afterwards. And that, for me, is a good evening out.
We need a decision.
Ready.
A disturbing look at how wars are fought in the digital age. Belle Lupton, TRT World, London.